Hello everyone, from Triple IT Allahabad, Prayagraj, India. This is Nilesh Gupta. I'm here to discuss about my topic, effect of biaxial strain on power factor of silicene, based on a first principles study. So here is a brief outline of my presentation. Introduction to thermoelectricity, effect of a strain on the input parameters, effect of biaxial strain on power factor. Uh, this is very important, importance of temperature dependent scattering time, and conclusion. So thermoelectricity is basically direct conversion of temperature difference to the electric voltage or current, and vice versa, without using any moving part. So the pioneer in the thermoelectric was Thomas John Seebeck, and thermoelectric performance of any material can be evaluated by dimensionless unit, figure of merit, that is given by Zt sigma s square T kappa E plus kappa L. For good thermoelectric material, we all know the power factor, that is sigma s square, must be as high as possible, and thermal conductivity should be as low as possible. Here, one thing I want to introduce in based on our first principle calculations, that sigma and kappa E, that is electrical conductivity and electronic thermal conductivity, we obtain within the Boltzmann transport framework using Boolsep tool with respect to tau. That is, sigma is obtained as sigma by tau and kappa E is obtained as kappa E by tau. So the thing is, tau is distinctly need to be calculated, which is also a temperature dependent parameter. And nowadays it's being possible to calculate temperature dependent scattering time, and it should be included in future also. So before doing that, I have taken silicene here with a strain also. Silicene is a silicon counterpart of graphene, where graphene is a planar structure that allows very high electrical conductivity and very high thermal conductivity also. But silicene and germanium in the same group have lesser thermal conductivity because of buckling structure. You may see figure 1C, that there is a buckling, they are not exactly planar. So we have applied strain in silicene in this analysis. We have also applied compressive strain and tensile strain. But in compressive strain, we found that the structure shows unstable. Uh, in tensile strain, the structures are stable, and we have applied the uh, tensile strain up to 5% only, because we want to maintain the symmetricity of the structure, and space group of the structure should be it should be maintained actually. So here the band structure is being shown of relaxed silicene and strained silicene. You may notice that the conduction band minima is actually lowered at M point, and there is also a band gap opening, means increment in the band gap once you apply the strain. And if you see the phonon dispersion curve, there is no negative frequency. You may see uh, in between the gamma and M point in the Brillouin zone. That is, our structure means with the strain, with the 5% strain, it is stable, and frequency is also lowered. If you see the board lines, means there is phonon softening features you may see. One more thing you may notice, because thermal conductivities basically deal with the acoustic modes, and now ZA is bit linear actually. Initially it was quadratic. So what we get from first principle analysis, we get using Boltzmann transport equation framework, we get power factor as sigma s square by tau. So we can calculate distinctly scattering time, which is temperature dependent, or we can put usually people put also constant tau. So we'll discuss the effect of that also. So here we have calculated scattering time using EPW tool, that is electron phonon vernalization. And EPW tool is the most advanced tool than the available time, and is it also much efficient than the deformation potential method, because EPW actually incorporate the interaction of electron with all possible modes. There are 6 modes you may see in our structure: 3 acoustic and 3 optical. Whereas deformation potential method only incorporates longitudinal modes. So it's means EPW is much precise than the available methods. And we have also so you can see this graph, figure 4a. We distinctly calculate the temperature dependent scattering time uh, for strain and relax both structures, and also we have calculated power factor. So here we have presented absolute value of power. power factor by incorporating this against the chemical potential. Actually, we are studying here the doped behavior of silicene also. Means if we are if I'm shifting the Fermi level in the conduction band, then we are studying actually N type of behavior. And if we are shifting the Fermi level in valence band, then we are actually studying the P type of behavior. So similar kind of behavior also I have examined for the strained silicene. One more thing you may notice that power factor actually increased 4 times for the room temperature when you consider P type, because as we can see, P type of silicene is dominant at room temperature for both the cases. As we increase the temperature, power factor actually decreasing. So let's see the effect of actually importance of actually scattering time. So if I assume the scattering time roughly around 10 to it is I have assumed actually 10 to power minus 14 second as a constant value, and then plot the absolute value of power factor, and these are our results. So you may notice that the maximum power factor is obtained for the N type of behavior, and there is no actually big difference. You apply the strain also, and the actual thing is that when you incorporate the precise value of scattering time in the power factor, then the the dominating behavior is shown by P type for the power factor calculation. So there is a means drastic change you may see by comparing these graphs. So here are conclusion from my sides. The main thing is there is a means we applied only tensile strain because compressive strain shows instability, and there is a band gap opening also at the K point. Electronic band structure we have calculated with the most robust method, that is hybrid functional HSC, which predicts actually more accurate band gap close to experimental values. For these references, for this particular statement, you can refer uh, this means paper of hybrid functional. They have shown a lot of comparison for experimental values and means first principle based calculation values. And also we have calculated transport parameters like Seebeck, electrical conductivity, kappa E, electronic thermal conductivity using hybrid functional within the Boltzmann transport framework. The power factor of doped monolayer silicene significant improvement under tensile strain, and the P-type monolayer silicene is dominating in both the cases. And for accurate comparison, this is means this is most important for means more important thing in our research, that for accurate comparison, the time dependent scattering time is much needed, and EPW calculation are more efficient than the available calculation. But EPW calculation actually requires very high computation facility. So this is all from my side. Here are some noticeable differences. We have also presented a paper based on this study incorporating the scattering temperature dependent scattering time and hybrid functionals. This is all from my side. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.